Hello guys, what is going on? William here for a new video. Today I would like to talk about a very contentious topic. Should you use Flow or TypeScript for your React projects? I recently had a little bit of a dilemma with it, and I just wanted to share my thoughts on this topic with you guys and get some feedback from you. I'm not looking to advocate for either one or the other, just to share my thoughts and yeah, get feedback from you guys. But so I'm not here to troll one way or the other, but if you are not using Flow or you are not using TypeScript, I would absolutely like to advocate that you should use a type system for your JavaScript projects. I firmly believe that these tools can substantially reduce your technical debt and also dramatically reduce your development costs by allowing you to do, among other things, refactor code with confidence. In my previous job, we didn't use a type system for a fairly large code base, around 10,000 lines of code. That led the code base to become extremely unhealthy. We saw some hideous patterns. There were no static checking. People would pass undocumented states in objects that would go across modules and use these states in order to implement things quickly, like just do some quick fixes or hacking a new feature very quickly. So that led the code base to become very hard to understand and almost impossible to refactor. So I'm really a true believer in these type systems. And this topic of type systems is also where my preference for React comes from, because there are a couple of really amazing web development libraries, Angular, Vue, but they don't seem to be as type safe than React. So when I'm looking at these libraries, I'm always wondering, will I get a compiler error if I misspell a CSS property or value? Will I get a compiler error if I get attribute name wrong or the attribute value is incorrect? And I find basically the value proposition of React, that you have a single type system for your logic, presentation, and styling, to be extremely interesting and extremely valuable. And my first React Native project was done in TypeScript. Actually, at the time, Create React Native app didn't exist. It's funny because today we use it so much that I was feeling that it was always there, but actually I checked the release date and Create React Native app is barely more than 1 year old. So I just found a good boilerplate on GitHub that was using React Native and TypeScript. Really happy with it. And for my second React Native project, I used Create React Native app, which was released then. And this project was using Expo. Also, I didn't find a good TypeScript version for this project, so I decided to give Flow a chance, and especially since Expo is using Flow. And I would say if you do a React Native project, Flow is an extremely important library. I was pretty happy with Flow, and especially in the later versions, which were hard to actually migrate to, because Flow is making, it's much recent libraries, they're making a lot of dramatic changes from one version to the other. But in more recent version, the React support has become phenomenal, and especially recently with the support for higher order component in React has become really good. As far as I investigated, they use a little bit of magic in Flow in order to provide this support. So pretty happy with it. So for a while, my React Native projects are done in Flow. My React web projects are done in TypeScript, and everything is or was love and well. But so recently I want to do a new React web project, which probably most of it is gonna be live coding on YouTube, and I can show you quickly. So as you know, I built the React Native element starter kit, and since the new restriction on iOS prevents you from loading an Expo app directly from Expo, I created this small widget that connects to the TestFlight API. So you enter your first name, last name, email, and you would get automatically an invitation to TestFlight. It's very useful for people to test the starter kit on their iOS device. And I would like to make this widget available to anyone essentially, and especially Expo users. And I was considering to use Flow for this web project because I would like my code base to be... I was looking to keep some consistencies between my React Web and React Native code bases. And so, for instance, linting rule and styling rules were a bit different from one project to the other. So that was a bit annoying. And also now these type systems are becoming fairly complex, and especially their React support. And so I thought also it could be useful to only pick one and develop an expertise in only one of these type systems instead of having knowledge in both, but also, having to stay up to date with each technology and so on. Before making a decision, I made this little list, which I would like to share with you, of pros and cons for each technology. So for Flow, really one main advantage, I think, is to have consistent styling and linting rules across all the code bases. And I also feel that the ESLint plugins for React and React Native seem to be much more powerful than their TypeScript counterpart with TSLint. I think that this can be extremely useful because these, for instance, the ESLint React plugin and even the React Native plugin are doing a bunch of extremely useful checks which you cannot find in TypeScript. I think this is a plus one for Flow. Another point is that the mission statement seems to be more up to date because TypeScript used to offer modern JavaScript features plus the type system, but now JavaScript has caught up with the modern features, and what TypeScript is providing is only the type system. And that's what essentially Flow is doing. It's only providing the type system on top of it. And since React Native is using Babel and Create React App is using Babel, Flow is extremely easy to integrate. I think it's a bit easier to integrate than TypeScript. And since also it's using Babel, you can do automatic code refactoring of your code base, which might be like an edge case. That's not every day you need to do this, but I find it to be useful. At least it's useful to know that you can do it. Maybe you can do it in TypeScript, but for sure you cannot do it as easily than how you would do it with Babel. So it's just something I put on the list. Inconvenient points, you do have, it's a quite recent library. The team developing Flow seems to be very focused to its internal use at Facebook, and I guess the community support is not as good than TypeScript. So you do have like crazy breaking changes across versions of Flow. And a lot of features are undocumented. This is actually really crazy. So if you look at the type definitions for React, for instance, they are using a lot of features features and special types which are absolutely undocumented on the Flow website. So for instance, here I have the React type definition. So if you look at it, you want to investigate some stuff. For instance, I'm looking at set state and I see $shape. Oh, okay, that looks interesting. As far as I know, this one is not documented in the Flow website. Another one I think is element config. No, I think this one actually was the opposite. It was documented but not available yet. But so there is a bit of gap between the implementation of Flow and the documentation. Okay, another big one is Flow error reporting. Flow reports every type errors, even if it comes from a non-module for which you're not responsible of. And I understand why it makes sense at Facebook that they would report all these errors, and I'm not sure why they are refusing to provide a flag where we can silence this error, but this is extremely annoying. So there is a package called Flow Result Checker that eliminates type errors for which you're not responsible for, which is extremely useful. There's another package very similar that does the same thing. But the problem is that in newer versions of Flow, the error reporting has changed, therefore the package doesn't work anymore, And for instance, that is the reason why I cannot use the latest version of Flow at the moment. And I'm really not sure. There is a big debate on GitHub about this topic, and I'm really not sure why the Flow team is not contributing a flag to silence errors for which the developer has no control over, essentially. Last one I put on the list is that sometimes when you import modules, you get an implicit any type definition, which is absolutely horrible because you think that your program is being type checked, but it's absolutely not. So for instance, here there's an import type children array from React. If you were to do this import statement outside the declare module, at the top of the file, this children array would be implicitly any. And so you would think that your code is being type checked, but it's absolutely not. That's very dangerous. So TypeScript has a bigger community. It's also a bit of an older project. Most NPM package have good types for it. It's much faster than Flow. And you get also upfront compile errors, which I find to be extremely useful. You know, sometimes you're going to do some, you know, you're developing, doing some testing, and you're going to get a runtime error where in Flow, where, you know, in TypeScript, you're not even going to be able to test at runtime because it didn't compile. In Create React App, some of the upfront compile errors are really silly if you have an unused import. So I think it's great to throw a compile error in the CI system, but when developing, it's really silly. You don't want to be obliged to refactor the whole code base to remove unused import and so on, especially if you're doing some prototyping, quick testing. So that's a bit inconvenient. I looked how we can configure these things in Create React App, but didn't find a way to do it. But overall, I would say that upfront compile errors are useful. If you are using TypeScript, the React support is not as good than Flow. Maybe it will catch up, I'm not sure. Flow does seem to use a lot of magic within the Flow engine in order to support React properly. So it might be very difficult for TypeScript to provide a support of React that is as good than Flow. I could be wrong, but seems to be how it looks like. Yeah, this is my list. Let me know what you think. If you are using a React Native project, the most important library you are likely to be using is Expo, which is using Flow. So, and also because, you know, you get Flow support out of the box in Create React Native app. Flow seems to be the much more natural choice. If you're using a React web project, you're very likely to use the Material UI library, which is now in release candidate. V1 is in release candidate, amazing library for a web project. And this library has first class TypeScript support. So you're and also Create React App has extremely good TypeScript support. So you are more likely to use TypeScript. But if you're looking maybe for consistency between your code base, maybe you might be looking to use Flow as well for your web projects. That's what I'm experimenting with. There is a Flow type for Material UI, which is not very good, but it is a great, it is a great starting point. I'm looking to contribute more to this type. For instance, I contributed the type definition from theme and the with style higher order component. I'm looking forward to contribute more as I go in my project development. It's of course not as good than the TypeScript version, and also because we always have to play catch up with new versions of Material UI. But I would say that's definitely a good starting point. So I decided to experiment with Flow in my web projects to in order to use one technology once and for all. Let me know, let me know your thoughts on this. I hope I'm not making a huge mistake to use Flow so much. Time will tell if I'm getting too much hurdles and hassle using Flow in my React web projects. I will absolutely give up. So I hope you guys found this video informative. Looking forward to hear from you and to talk to you again soon. Bye.